Part 2. A Week in Frog Street. Welcome to the second part of the Frog Street training. Part 1 went over a lot of resources, but don't be overwhelmed. You will have plenty of time to go through the materials and resources and plan out when and how you can bring these tools into your classroom. Take your time to review the materials to make sure you are comfortable with them and the program. As I said in the first training clip, the Welcome Guide is a very useful tool for you to understand the Frog Street curriculum. Here are a few other useful tips and information you will find in this guide. It walks you through how to read and understand your teacher's guides. It breaks down how to read your teacher's guides and the weekly layout. We will go through this format together later in this training. A breakdown of each component in the program. For example, it explains what each part in the greeting circle means, the importance of the morning message, and information about learning centers, literacy, math, and science lessons. It offers a sample daily schedule for both full-day and half-day programs. Remember, this is only a sample. We need to revise our daily schedules to suit the needs of our own rooms. Times, routines, and activities will vary between every classroom. Let's take a few moments to go over the weekly schedule for Frog Street. Each theme in Frog Street is divided into 4 weeks of instruction. At the beginning of every teacher's guide, you will find, on pages 7 to 9, a review of how to read and understand your teacher's guide. On pages 10 and 11, Theme Bulletin Board and Theme Project. The theme bulletin boards and projects are great ways to show off the children's work and learning experiences every month. Now, let's look at how a week is set up in Frog Street and what components are included every week. Your week will start off with a quick summary of what the children will learn that week. It will also tell you the wonderful word of the week. Here's a tip. Change the Spanish words to other languages that represent the children's cultures and home languages spoken in your room. It will also give you a list of the program materials you need to collect for instruction and activities that week. These are items that are included in the program package. Next, you will find a list of things to make and do. This includes materials needed for practice activities, not lessons. So if you decided to try the lessons, make sure you review and collect what you need before you start the lesson. Books to share. These are not included in the Frog Street package. These are other books that support the theme in Frog Street, found in libraries, or you may already have some in the center. They are books that support the learning goals for that week. Focus for the week. These are the weekly learning concepts we use at BrightPath in our curriculum programming to provide the educational foundations to learning. The focus for the week will give you a quick summary of what the children should be learning that week, whether it's a Frog Street activity or an activity based on children's interests. The general areas of learning identified here are character education, literacy, letter knowledge, and math. Frog Street provides us with a weekly lesson planner. The weekly lesson planner simplifies planning for the week and is a summary of all the activities that are outlined in detail in the weekly lessons, activities, and centers. It goes over the activities for greeting circle, moving and learning, read aloud times. If you see 2 pictures, it means it's a storybook. If you see 1 picture, it means it's a story folder or an oral story, which can be found in the back of the guidebook. Lessons, practice activities, and learning centers. Content connection, and closing circle. BrightPath has created their own version of the weekly planner that looks like the one here, which you can post in your room as a reference to which activities you may be doing that week. A few activities on the BrightPath form will be different. For example, Canadian content instead of American content. So please make sure that you are using the BrightPath form. Now let's move on to the Frog Street Learning Centers. In centers, children practice skills learned in group lessons, learn independence, self-direction, and collaboration skills, and learn to make decisions and choices. Centers also provide you an opportunity to show children learning concepts, customize instruction to suit each child, encourage developmentally appropriate language and comprehension, and informally assess children's progress. Teachers, yes, that's you, are able to identify and pick up on unexpected opportunities that will enhance understanding by responding to children's discoveries in a way that encourages the children to think about new ways to explore and learn. What's included in Frog Street Learning Centers? These center activities are ideas for centers that support the weekly learning goals. Staff are encouraged to adapt these centers as needed to meet the needs, abilities, and interests of the children in their room. If the children or yourself have a better idea for a center activity that will reflect the interests and abilities of children in your room, then please adapt or change the centers as needed. For example, if Frog Street suggests setting up an ocean scene in the Pretend and Learn Center, but your children want to create a doctor's office instead, then create a doctor's office. Better yet, how about a doctor's office on a boat or on the beach? Get creative. Every week, Frog Street gives ideas for different learning centers. There are 5 outdoor activity ideas. Please adapt these activities as needed. Here are some of the centers that are included in Frog Street. You may have more or less than what is shown here, but don't worry. Centers can be rotating or offered in a bin instead of a set location in the classroom. Here's a tip. Your Creativity Center should be separate from the Writing Corner or the ABC Center, as we are focusing on different developmental domains. Writing is done on almost a daily basis in Frog Street, so make sure you have a bin or area set aside for this every day. Math, science, fine motor, and sensory can be located together or near each other. If you don't already have these center signs in your classroom, please ask your center director for them so that you can create your learning centers.